This will be for the con assignment, quadratics by taking square roots. It says just a small step up from the intro. So it's similar to the intro one. Okay, they want us to find the zeros of the function. All right, so I'm going to set the function equal to 0. All right, and we're solving for x. I'm going to add 25 to both sides. 25's cancel. Bring down the x minus 4 squared, and that equals 25. Taking the square root of both sides to get rid of the squared, we're left with x minus 4 equals plus or minus 5. Okay? Now we actually have two separate equations. We have x minus 4 equals positive 5, and x minus 4 equals negative 5. Okay, because we had plus or minus 5. So adding 4 on both sides, the 4's cancel, and x equals 9. Adding 4 on both sides, the 4's cancel, and x equals negative 1. So this one is the greater, and this one is the lesser. So the lesser x is negative 1, and the greater x is 9. All right. So same thing. Solve for x. Instead of telling us to find the zeros, they just set it equal to 0. Okay. I am going to add 11 on both sides, and 11 minus 11 will cancel. So rewriting this, we're left with x plus 7 squared. And on the right-hand side, we have 0 plus 11. It's just 11. Taking the square root of both sides. Taking the square root removes the squared part. So we have x plus 7 equals, let me see, x plus 7 squared is going to equal, we can't take the square root of 11 without getting into decimals. Oh, it says round to 2 decimal places. Okay, there you go. That'll work. That'll work. So the square root of 11 is 3.3166. And remember, when you take the square root, it's going to be plus or minus, because you see this is squared right here. So whatever gets plugged in for x, it's going to be squared anyway. All right, so this is plus or minus. And it says round to 2 decimal places. So because this number is 5 or more, I'm going to round it up. So x plus 7 is going to be plus or minus 3.32. Now we have our two equations, okay? So we have x plus 7 equals 3.32. And we have x plus 7 equals negative 3.32. All right, minus 7 on both. The 7's cancel. And x is going to equal 3.32 minus 7, negative 3.68. And on the other side, the other equation, we'll just do minus 7 on both. The 7's cancel. And x is negative 10.32. All right. So we have two answers. And the bigger negative is actually the lesser. And this one is the greater. Okay, because remember on a number line, the more negative you go, the smaller the number is. So the bigger negative is actually the lesser one. So negative 10.32 is going to be lesser. And negative 3.68 is going to be greater. All right. Enter the solutions. All right. So I'm going to add 9 on both. 9 minus 9 cancels. All right. And rewriting this, we have x minus 1 squared, and 0 plus 9 equals 9. Taking the square root of both sides. Taking the square root removes the squared, so it's x minus 1. And the square root of 9 is going to be plus or minus 3. Now we have two equations because it's plus or minus 3. So x minus 1 equals positive 3. X minus 1 equals negative 3. Adding 1 to both, the 1's cancel. X equals 4. Adding 1 to both over here, the 1's cancel. X equals negative 2. 4 is the greater, and negative 2 is the lesser. All right. So for these, you could use quadratic formula, but it's not set up properly. Okay, if it was in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, then you could use quadratic formula. But in order to do that, you have to use FOIL on this and then set the whole thing equal to 0. All right, so this way is quicker in some cases. All right, one more. Find the zeros. Okay, so we could just set it equal to 0. All right, I'm going to add 9 on both sides. And the 9's cancel. I'm left with x minus 2 squared is going to equal a positive 9. Taking the square root of both sides, that will remove the squared part. So I have x minus 2. Square root of 9 is going to be plus or minus 3. So now we have two equations. X minus 2 is 3. X minus 2 is negative 3. Adding 2 on both sides on both equations. The 2's cancel. And 3 plus 2 is 5. Over here, the 2's cancel. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. X equals 5 is our greater. X equals negative 1 is our lesser. So for the lesser x, negative 1. For the greater x, positive 5.